like to say first, thank you for having me here. I'm not from the City of Halifax municipality itself. However, I am from an industry association, so I represent the ocean technology sector in Nova Scotia, and our main base is actually in Halifax. So if you're not familiar, so Halifax is in Atlantic Canada, so we're the largest metropolitan area in Atlantic Canada, and we're kind of a hub in a lot of ways. So we have an international airport, we have a number of port facilities, and we have a railway network. So we're a bit of a hub for people looking to do business into Atlantic Canada. As well, we're the home to a number of research facilities, development facilities for ocean technologies, and I'll go into those a bit more later in my presentation. And that'll be kind of a focus for me where I'm speaking more from the industry side, more so than specific urban planning or development. So I do have a video myself. Hopefully this works. There was a file along with the video. I'm not sure if that can be played. I do have it on this if that. Yeah, that's fine. So I can't play the video right now, but that's okay. Move on. So Halifax, we like to brand as Canada's ocean city, and it really is a hub for marine and technology development for the ocean sector for Canada. Like as I mentioned, we have a rather large number of port facilities. We're a center for traffic coming into the Atlantic area, and we distribute, throughout Canada on rail systems through air. There are also ports in Montreal and Vancouver, which are the other kind of larger ports. However, we're certainly developing our ports and port technologies, and the sustainment of shipping practices is very important for our port facilities, and as well as the monitoring of the environment for the traffic going in and out. I should also mention that shipbuilding is a large part of our history, and going into the future, we actually have the next round of Canadian surface combatants. So Canada's future naval fleet is being built in Halifax. We're home to 40% of Canada's naval assets. So because of that, naval defense and our Canadian Forces Base Halifax is an important center of our economy, security for the area, and also as well technology development. We have the Defense Research Development Canada Atlantic research facilities, and they have helped to develop a number of technologies for us and really made us a center for marine acoustics and hydrophones. Sensors and instrumentation is a large focus and area of expertise. We like to think that we're global leaders in this area, and it's further develop the types of companies that we see in the area. We're also in the process of building out our innovation district. As you can see here, we have a number of facilities. We've got 6 universities, Dalhousie University is one of our largest and one of the ones that's more focused on ocean technology research and development. We have a number of facilities there, including the Ocean Frontier Institute, which is a national research center for ocean sciences. They also have a mandate to try and work more closely in the area of applied research, so real-world industry partnerships working in development with the ocean research. There's also the Steel Ocean Science Building, which a number of these research facilities are based out of. The Marine Environmental Observation Prediction and Response Network, and the Ocean Tracking Network, to name a few. As well, there is the Creative Destruction Lab, which is a center for innovation and development of new technologies. And that's just around Dalhousie. As you can see, we also have Volta Labs. We have the Cove facility, the Center for Ocean Ventures and Entrepreneurship, the National Research Council, as well as a number of other research and development facilities. I'll speak a bit more on Cove later. I think that's actually a very good facility that was created. It's owned by the municipal government, and it was really a turning point, I think, for how our government looks at ocean technology and how that's a priority for us going forward. So I've said ocean technology a few times, and I just want to get a bit of a clarification on that we see ocean technology as a horizontal sector, which is comprised of a number of vertical sectors, as you can see here. These are some of our focuses for our industry as we go forward. Marine defense, marine renewable energy, offshore oil and gas, education and research, fisheries and aquaculture, and marine tourism. These are all focuses for us in the development of technologies. Where I work is predominantly in that industry space, so these are the companies that are providing solutions, looking at new ways of solving problems and creating opportunities in these spaces. We're a small area. Halifax has a population of about 430,000 people. So we really look at working in partnership with our fellow Atlantic Canadians, but also our international partners. International partnership is very important to us. We realize, that we can't solve every issue that we have on our own, and that the diversity of thoughts and ideas is going to lead us to better solutions in the future. So that's something we're very open to, and from my point of view, that's something I'm happy to talk more about afterwards as well. As mentioned, these are a number of our kind of stronger technology fields where we kind of lead the way, and we have a focus in specific R&D and industry development. Acoustic sensors and instrumentation, that kind of goes back to a history we had of being the anti-submarine warfare center of excellence for North America, going back into the past. From that, we have developed a very strong core of acoustic hydrophones and sensors, the software to process that information, and as I said, we're kind of a global leader in that area, and we have a large concentration of companies that are creating solutions and technologies, manufacturing hydrophones and sensor suites. Through the sensors and instrumentation, you always need a platform to go forward and use them on, so unmanned surface vehicles and underwater vehicles is also very important to us. Something we're working on, we see more companies developing, is the unmanned vehicles, the sensor packages that go on them, and the solutions that come from that. Naval architecture, as I mentioned, with the shipbuilding project. So Irving Shipbuilding is the shipbuilding facilitator for the naval defense contracts that we have going forward. It's about a $60 billion Canadian program that's going to be going on for the next 25 years or so. We're currently building the Arctic offshore patrol ships, which will be doing a lot of Arctic patrolling and also research with that partnership we have between classic research and security. And then after that, we'll be building a number of frigates. Marine geomatics, of course, that's important for us as we go forward from the sensor suite and base that we have. We also had some oil and gas development. There's not too much going in the way of oil and gas development off the coast of Nova Scotia, more so with one of our Atlantic Canadian partners in Newfoundland. Newfoundland and Labrador is still working very heavily in that field. However, we still have that expertise in the training and then the development and looking at marine geomatics. There's the Center for Geographic Sciences, about an hour and a half away from Halifax. Marine biotechnology and marine ICT are growing for us as well. The biotechnology side, we have Acadia Sea Plants, which is one of our larger nutritional sea-based companies. And it's really spurred a lot of other technologies and services that are looking at that as a future source of both nutrition and solutions for getting away from unsustainable practices in farming and fishing. Aquaculture is also growing for us. It's still very small in Nova Scotia. As of about 2016, I think we only had $59 million in revenue from aquaculture. However, that is growing. And we're looking more on the services side. So we have a lot of development and tracking of the sustainability of aquaculture. We have things, companies looking at things like fish blockchain, if anybody's familiar with blockchain. So just really the traceability of where the aquaculture products are coming from, and then as they go through the supply chain. As mentioned, the Cove facility is in Dartmouth, Nova Scotia, which is just across the harbor and still part of the Halifax municipality. This is something that was developed, it's been about 2 years now. It's in the former Coast Guard base, and it is owned now by the province of Nova Scotia. The land and space itself is owned by Develop Nova Scotia, which is a municipal crown corporation, and Cove, the Center for Ocean Ventures and Entrepreneurship, are the operators of the facility. The facility is really a center for collaboration between industry, startup businesses, government, research organizations, and it's being used as a bit of a test bed and collaboration area for all of these players to come together. There's about 58 businesses currently at Cove, and that's everything from startup companies with 2 to 3 people that are, developing and prototyping their product to larger companies that are looking at having really an idea of what the future technology development is going to be from these small companies that are growing. There's 8 acres of wharf space. They have access to the seabed as well, so it's being used as a test facility for companies that are looking to test and prototype the technologies that they have, new products. There's also a machine shop and access to probably some of the best expertise of oceans engineers and technologists in the world. It's also open to collaboration as a facility, so they have a number of MOUs with other similar technology hubs, and they're open to more of these, and there's space for joint research and development projects between these facilities, as well as any companies that are looking to get a bit of a foothold in Halifax. there's office and desk space as well. And a number of companies have taken advantage of that so far. And as mentioned, when I first talked about COVID, it was kind of the turning point for how our government looks and really prioritizes ocean technology for us. One of the big challenges we have is that the majority of our population in Canada is actually more towards the center of Canada, away from the ocean. You know, the largest population areas of Toronto, Montreal, Ottawa, they're more centered towards the Great Lakes. So they have links to water, but they don't really see the ocean like we do every day. So we now see the ocean technology through the Ocean Protection Plan, which is a federal government program becoming a priority for really just showing the value that the ocean has to our country. We have a very, very large coastline. There's a lot of resources that we could be managing better, and we're working towards managing those resources better and really just knowing what they are. So we kind of have a network as well of research institutes of our associations nationally, so we can strengthen our voice really in talking to our national capital in Ottawa. And from that, it's worked in where we have Canada's Ocean Supercluster. So in the last year and a half, the Canada's Ocean Supercluster is a federal government program. There are a number of superclusters across Canada, ranging in from artificial intelligence to protein to aerospace, and the Atlantic Canada's bid was the Ocean Supercluster. So the hub of the Ocean Supercluster is split between St. John's, Newfoundland, and Halifax, Nova Scotia, as the two main areas of ocean technology development and really marine activity. We of course have links also to Rimouski in Quebec, as well as Vancouver in British Columbia. Canada's Ocean Supercluster was a big step for our federal government in saying that the development of ocean technologies is going to be a way forward for the future of Canada. It's meant as a way to create more opportunities for ocean technology companies to develop new products, foster innovation, and it's a link between the large investors in the space, which are in your oil and gas sector, in your fisheries sector, in your marine energy sector, to put forward the projects that they'd like to see developed into the future and get solutions from Canadian technology partners. But there is also space there for international partners to work with our companies and technology partners to work on these projects. So I guess that kind of leads into what I'd like to finish with, which is that we're open to partnerships. Halifax is a global city. We're a member of the World Energy Cities. We are looking forward in the development of our marine space and our ocean technology, and we're looking for partners. The companies that I represent, 85% of their revenues are from exports, but they also spend a very large amount in research and development, and they work with facilities all around the world, and we want to expand that network. I know we kind of talked last night in the keynote about globalization. However, at least in our sector, I don't think it's slowing down in fostering those partnerships and networks that we have between cities and really between companies and technology partners. So that's all for me. Thank you very much for having me. Sorry I couldn't show my video, but if anybody wants to check it out, it's on YouTube as Canada's Ocean City it's the innovation video. And if anybody has any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
예, 방금 전에 말씀하신 것처럼 정말 선진국의 해양 과학 기술 분야에 대한 여러 가지, 특히 또 이게 지금 오늘 발표하신 해양과학기술위원회 근무하시다 보니까 정말 저도 배울 부분이 상당히 많은 것 같습니다. 혹시 좀 여기 자리에서 뭐 궁금하신 거라든지 또는 여러 가지 사항에 대해서 있으면 질문 좀 부탁드리겠습니다.
저는 행정학 박사 우주호입니다. 헬리팩스가 76년에 몬트리올 올림픽 이후에 프랑스 권역의 퀘벡주가 분리 독립을 하려니까 많은 몽레알에 있던 시설물들이 토론토로 옮겨지고 분리 독립에 대한 견제로서 다문화 정책도 아주 확대를 했는데 노바스코타주는 새로운 스코틀랜드주라고 혹시 영국계의 어떤 그건데 대서양연안에 원래 대구나 청어나 고래잡이 같은 것이 아주 하던 어항이었는데 이게 지금 먼저 해군 기지도 한 40% 가고 또 많은 해양과학의 전초기지가 되고 물류기지 또 해양 컨테이너 터미널 같은 게 새로이 많이 되었다. 그래서 오히려 자연스럽게 보면 센트로렌스 강에 돼 있는 퀘벡이나 몬트리올이 과거에 항만 역할을 했었는데 강항인데 밴쿠버만 해도 태평양 쪽에 아주 좋은 입지를 가지고 목재나 어업의 나라니까 수산물을 수출할 수 있는데 헬리팩스는 좀 지금 현재 다수계인 영국계가 오히려 여러 가지의 과학기술이나 노바스코타주의 퀘벡에 대한 하나의 약간의 소외라서 집합이 되는데 인구 밀집이나 여러 가지 연구기관 하는데 조금 지장이 있는 곳이 아닌가. 그런데 국가는 거리로 집중을 하고 있다. 거기에 대해서 질문 드립니다.
So the focus in our area is very much in developing our workforce. We still have a very strong fisheries sector. The largest export in Nova Scotia is still lobster. However, as we go forward, we're seeing more technological exports. It's probably one of our fastest growing exports that we have, and it's a resource that I think Canada has recognized that, at least from an Atlantic Canada perspective, it's the area in which we can be the best in the country. So our government is looking to support us in further developing that and making sure we're taking any advantage of the strengths that we have of those close ties to the ocean, as well as the existing infrastructure we have in research facilities, and trying to just make sure we're developing that going forward. I hope that answers your question.
예, 그럼 시간 관계상 질문은 여기까지 마치고요. 다시 한번 좀 멀리서 오신 캐나다의 크리스토퍼께 큰 박수 부탁드립니다.